following is a special presentation. From the Captain eSports Network.
This isn't just a game. This is iRacing. Welcome to a track that is known as the Magic Mile. Gets its nickname from Walt Disney World, believe it or not. A track that is one of the biggest when it comes to legacy tracks in all the Northeast. It is home of modified racing. It is home to NASCAR racing. Used to be home to IndyCar racing. Used to the infamous Double Bird from Will Power. And tonight home of the All-American Cup Series. It is the New England 225 here at the New Hampshire Motor Speedway as we get ready for round number 3 of Season 8 of this All-American Cup Series. And a big shout out to the premier partners of the All-American Cup Series, Leafguard of Vermont, right up here in the northeast area. I'm the captain. We welcome you in on this Thursday evening as we get ready for race number 3. We've seen 2 crazy races so far. And the question going to be, what are we going to see tonight? Because, well, the great unknown is here. Tonight, for the first time since Bristol last season, we are at a new track. This track has never been raced in the 7 seasons of the All-American Cup Series. Tonight, we're here, and we're going to see what happens here in the next 141 laps around the Magic Mile. A lot of things to talk about here as we get closer and closer to the green flag. Got qualifying coming up here in just about 3 minutes or so as we take a look at the updated schedule. And thank you to Casey Carrington for pulling out his Sharpie and marking out the schedule and helping us out, because tonight it is Loudon, which is the town we are in here in the New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Next week we go to the Darlington Raceway. The following week, Labor Day in Michigan, Nashville Super Speedway in Indianapolis, the first half of this 14 race schedule that'll get you through season number 8. Now remember, what's very important about all of this is there is that combined schedule from the previous season number 7, that is to be looked at here, because all those points are being combined into 1 point standings. So we're going to be keeping an eye on that as we get closer into the season. But of course, now we are 2 races in to this All-American Cup Series schedule. We're starting to see the comers and goers. We've seen some people struggle to kick off the season. We've seen some people already having a breakout start to the season, and the question going to be after tonight here in New Hampshire, will that continue? This track, flat, it is a mile, 6 degrees of banking in the corners, and just to compare, what is 6 degrees of banking in the corners? Well, Dover's front and back straightaways are 3 degrees higher. Put it like that. The straightaways at Dover are higher banked than the New Hampshire corners. So it is flat, and it's kind of got that short track feel here tonight. So we shall see what is going to take place here when it is all said and done. But yeah, 140 laps here tonight at this New Hampshire Motor Speedway. So, of course, we've had 2 winners so far in 2 races. Stephen Miles getting his first win in his All-American career last week in his 43rd career start. And obviously a big one there. He's going to look for 2 in a row tonight. And who's going to put their first name on the lobster? What I understand, there's a lobster involved here. Not really, just fictionally. A lobster going to go to the winner, like you see in real life. Going to go to Mark Whitley, who's fastest in practice. Nick Gowen up there in the top 3. Justin Thompson's up there. There's some pretty fast speeds here on this Magic Mile track. So I think we're going to be in line to see some pretty good racing here momentarily. So again, qualifying coming up in, should be about less than a minute from now. As a matter of fact, less than 30 seconds from now, we'll get on track and get you the preview of tonight's 140 lap race. 36 cars will start tonight. It looks like we have 35 actually here. So everybody should make the race unless two people decide to spontaneously join the room within the next 30 seconds or so and get in here and run a qualifying lap, which would be an interesting little shakeup when it's all said and done. All right, qualifying about to kick off, and as per usual, qualifying is presented by Mike Husby Designs, the MHD Pole Award that they will run 2 laps for and see who's going to be the first pole sitter here in the race. Now, I did some looking up and I did some research, and believe it or not, I actually have the 4 tracks that have been previously ran in the All-American Cup Series, and of course that being Twin Ring Motegi, Phoenix Raceway, and the Milwaukee Mile. You're welcome. Anyways, helping find tissue boxes here. Twin Ring Motegi, the Legacy Phoenix track, and the retired Phoenix Raceway in the Milwaukee Mile. Those tracks there, believe it or not, are the other mile or mile and a half, we'll call it, since there's a Twin Ring Motegi in there, that we have run races at in this series. So you wonder who are going to be the guys to beat here this evening. Don't think you could look further than, well, Matthew Weeks, who, of course, has been pretty dominant at the Twin Ring Motegi track as we watch the 6 car of Mike Husby out here on track. And you see up there right against the edge that darker gray in the black part of the track rolls through the corner. Got to be very careful on throttle with this horsepower, as Miles going to set the mark 30.943. Barkuski, Langowski, John Osborne jumps to 3rd. Let's see what Husby can do here in the Siemens number 6 car. And across the start-finish line, Husby, P2, 30.988. So that's 2 drivers in the 30-second bracket. I'm expecting the second lap to be faster. You see Miles goes to a 94. And how about an 89 for both Miles and Thompson with an 88? With a 5 jumps up to the front row into the provisional pole right now. Let's check out a driver who got a win this past Monday night, Charles Van Schaik. And Charles goes to 3rd, 30.83. Casey Carrington in 84. As Mark Whitley at 72 goes to the top. Of course, these cars got the full horsepower, but through the corners, obviously, got to roll off the throttle and just let it roll through. As we look at Van Schaik here on his second lap. As he will cross the line. And we'll go slower, 30.94 on lap number 2. Let's check out Chris Murphy here. He's already run his laps. Craig Martin, he's had a pretty good qualifying run here these last couple of weeks. And here he is in the IKEA taxi machine. I wonder if he had to put this car together like you do anything at IKEA. We'll see what kind of lap he can run. Jake Vanoski out there on track. He's at 31.22 and 21st. Justin Ray, 31.35 is 23rd. Giroux and Casborough back to 25th. Jose, oh, and there goes, oh boy, Craig Martin absolutely destroys his IKEA piece. As here's Justin Ray off turn 4. And Ray's 25th, 31.29. Got a couple other cars coming out on track. Here's the Miller Genuine Draft number 2 of Kyle Ethier. And we got about a minute and 15 seconds left, so still time for these guys to run a lap. So far, 2 cars have not put a lap in. And that being Brian Wertman and Jeff No. Otherwise, Craig Martin on track, Kyle Ethier, and Dylan Rosenberg on track. As Nick Goen jumps to the top, 30-63 for the Singular Wireless number 31. The, shall we say, Robbie Gordon throwback? Of course, we all know what Robbie Gordon did in the race ran after Thanksgiving weekend back in 2001 after the 9/11 attacks and the race being postponed. But going to the front. As Nick, of course, was in our stream last week watching us. Craig Martin, 31-32. He is 30th. And Dylan Rosenberg's first lap is a 31-52. And he is likely going to run out of time. So Nick Goen is going to win the pole, the MHD Pole Award. Congratulations to him in the 31 Singular Wireless car, as he will lead them to the green flag in moments. But first, we're going to go start our pre-race show now, which, of course, is here from the New Hampshire Motor Speedway. So congratulations to Nick. We'll go see if we can talk to him in chat. But let's take a look at the point standings as we enter race number 3 here tonight. Justin Thompson leads the points over Zach Henry. A very slim 8-point margin there. Stephen Miles now third. James Silvers. Long John Silvers, right? James Silvers there in the third position. And fourth to, Silvers in fourth, Carrington fifth. There we go. Osborne sixth. Heller, Ritter, Calentoni, who I don't think is here tonight, and Daniel Giroux, your top 10 as we enter the points here through the first 2 weeks of the season. Looking at the team standings, that right now belongs to 25-11 as they've kicked off their season pretty well here. They got a 13-point lead over Laser Racing, Velocity Motorsports there in third, CX2 in fourth, and Piston Broke there in the fifth position. But look how tight the points are after just 2 weeks, 93 from the top to the bottom. So still plenty of room for people to make moves here tonight, and we'll go through the teams here again, just kind of letting you know who's where and so on and so forth throughout the night. John Osborne, Anthony Calentoni, they have the top spot right now in the rookie points, but that's, of course, after 2 weeks, so plenty of those drivers still ready to go here and race tonight and into the future, as we got a good group of rookies here tonight in the race. Manufacturer-wise, Chevrolet leading Dodge by 8, Pontiac with 9, Ford with 7, Toyota with 4, as we go into the race. All right, let's go see if Mr. Goen is in here. He is in here. First career pole here in the 31. He made the call last week in chat, and that he couldn't wait to be out here next week, and here he is. Next week is here, and Nick, you're on the pole at New Hampshire. Great lap, man. How's the car feeling tonight?
Appreciate that. Was not expecting that, but the car's feeling good. Track's definitely a little spicy at 121 degrees, so it's going to be a little slick throughout the run. But yeah, otherwise feeling pretty good tonight. So,
how much does that mean you got to keep the rear tires on it?
Like how long?
Well, I mean, how do you keep them under you? I guess would be the better question here.
I guess just be careful on the exit. Pretend that there's a eggshell right underneath the gas pedal. So I mean, just try not to slam the throttle and stable the car, because that's going to get you sideways real quick. As we saw in like practice, a lot of cars were losing the rear end coming off it too. So I expect that's going to be the trouble spot tonight.
Well, obviously a great lap for you, and I see you're running warm up right now and stuff. Congratulations, and let's see if we can go get a win tonight.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Nick Goen, the pole sitter here tonight. Congratulations to him. We'll get him to his team, the Aon Motorsports team. I believe I'm pronouncing that right, but
Eons.
Aons, Oons,
yeah,
Ions, Neons. I get it. Yeah, thanks, man.
Mm-hmm.
Eons. All right, so he's down there with Jeff No in the same channel. So he's hanging out here this evening, and let's talk to Miles here. Last week's winner, 43 starts later, and he has finally put himself in victory lane. Miles, how do we get 2 in a row tonight?
Pray. I think that's what I have to do. I have to pray that my baby stays asleep beside me, and pray my right rear doesn't burn up.
At least you don't have any cars going up the middle.
Oh man.
I know. I know. But yeah, either way, what I know the track is obviously very slick. I was just asking Nick, I'll ask you, how do you keep the tires under you tonight?
Drive slow. Don't overdrive the entry and don't overdrive the exit. I'm talking low 'cause my baby's asleep, but
Understand.
it's gonna be a tough sled for me tonight, man. I can't get a grip on here, but I'll try my best.
Hey, dad first, so we'll let him go and keep the baby sleeping. Worst thing you can do is wake a sleeping baby. Best of luck.
Appreciate it, man.
Absolutely. As get him down to his leisure racing team, and we're going to go trackside for the playing of our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
All right. Anthem is done. And for those curious, let me throw this out there. If you are hearing what sounds like I'm in an airport, I am not in an airport, but just be aware that I'm having some air conditioning issues here. Not that I need the air on, but a little warm here in Indiana today, so got a little fan here next week. So I want to throw that out there just to let everybody know if they're hearing something. Nick Gullins on the pole alongside Mark Whitley. Whitley looked pretty fast in practice, pretty fast in qualifying. We'll see what he can do here in the race. Kyle Ether, Zach Rogers, row number 2. Christopher Heller, Justin Thompson, row 3. Charles Van Schaik and Casey Carrington, row 4. Josh Dillon, Spence Thompson in row 5. Spence with a top 3 run in his debut last week. Stephen Miles, last week's winner. And Steve Ritter there in row number 6. Row 7, as I noticed Charles Van Schaik did not make the grid. I wonder if he had an issue like he did earlier this week when he got kicked out of the race from iRacing. Silvers and Delph there in row 7. Row 8, Ryan Strunk, Mike Husby. Nick Leo, John Osborne in row 9. Row 10 is where you'll see Brandon Barkuski and Tyler Bellinger, who's had a decent start to the season. Kyle Hall looking to get his season going here tonight. And Dan Legowski, the big Legowski. I think I can say that right. 22nd position. Daniel Drew and Nick Sargent there in row 12. Row 13, Christopher Murphy and Jake Manuski, Jose Ruiz and Justin Ray in row 14. Hunter Cannon and Craig Martin in row 15. Dylan Rosenberg coming off a win last night in a league race. Matthew Casbaro there in 32nd. Jared Mahan, Jeff No, and welcome Brian Wertman. Hello, my friend. The guy that's been around from this pretty much my start of iRacing. I've gotten to race around Brian and stuff. He'll be here tonight. And good to see him in the race, and hopefully Van Schaik will be able to get back in here as soon as possible. 141 laps, that is 225-ish kilometers in the race here this evening. 82 degrees, 44% humidity under partly cloudy skies. And, of course, a big shout-out to our friends at Leafguard of Vermont, as they are the sponsors, or partners, I should say, here of the series. And, well, the closest track you're going to find to Vermont is right here. And New Hampshire Motor Speedway is for the first time. The All-American Cup Series is going to go racing on the Magic Mile as Goen and Whitley lead them to the green flag. Race number 3 of the Cup Series season underway. And our cameras tonight presented by TrackCams22.com. You check them out online on Facebook and the iRacing forums at TrackCams22.com. And, ooh, Calamity Corner right here. Turn 2. Can everybody get off of it? Saw cars spinning everywhere during practice. So far, so good. Down to turn 3 and 4. Going. Gets up there and shuts the door on Whitley. Whitley tries to drop down to the bottom. There is some progressive banking here. And Going is going to lead lap 1. Whitley to the bottom, down on that flatter part of the track. 2 degrees of banking down there, 6 degrees up on the main portion of the track. And you're going to see these cars kind of spread out around it. Whitley trying to roll it there. Zach Rogers there behind him in the 19. Justin Thompson behind him. Whitley should be able to clear him here in turn 1. Might even slide up the track. He sure does. So Mark Whitley to the front here. First lead change of the night. These cars are going to slip and slide everywhere. Hello to Patty Heller watching on chat. Always usual. All right, so Charles Van Schaik did make the start. He is on the lead lap and on track. So good to see Charles out there, and unfortunately lost his track position, but he is still out there and rolling. As back here, we got the Nick Sargent, Jeff Gordon 24 car. As one car heading out of shape there. Let's see, was that the 6 of Husby? I couldn't tell. I think it was. But they're going by the 14 of Brad Delph. That was the car in front of Husby. It was the 64 of Ryan Strunk is who that was. As Delph gets the outside wall here a little bit. Allows Kyle Hall to get to his inside there. This is a 35 behind him. As Aaron Thomas is being a stalker apparently in chat, so hello to you, sir. As up, Brad Delph's out in the grass now. Get the tire pressures up in this car, and it can become a handful. You got to control the throttle in this thing. You're not going to be full throttle really at all until you get off the corner. And it's only going to get worse as you go here, as they go down to turn 1. Ooh, Husby holding on as he gets a little free back there. Leo getting loose. You can just see a lot of cars just trying to get used to the grip levels here, which isn't much. As up front, Mark Whitley got away for a split second, but Goins is there. Rogers right behind him. Justin Thompson in the 4th position. Behind them is Christopher Heller. Chris off to a good start this season. Could have easily had a win last week at Chicago before everything broke loose at the end. Looked good at Daytona too, but things happen there at the end. So he just got to put a full race together, and Heller so far having a good start running wise so far this season. Let's jump back here. 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th, 20th, all within 0.2 of a second. I think it's just a matter of pacing yourself right now. You can't, I don't know if you could really handle racing another car right now. It's just more of a matter of getting out here and race the track right now. So 10 laps complete. As you see, the 81 of Osborne under attack. Nick Leo behind him, below him, I should say, now behind him. Whitley up now 3/10. Let's go back here. Here's Kyle Hall under attack. Or I should say attacking is Nick Leo to his bottom side. With the 88 of Tyler Bellinger there with him. See so many cars sliding up the track. So 55 laps-ish on a tank of fuel. So it should be a 2-stop race here throughout. If we get to the green flag pit stops. You look at the 1-mile tracks I was talking about earlier, doing some of the research there. Heller and Whitley. Casey Carrington, some of the recent winners on the 1-mile circuits. But some other guys I mentioned, Matthew Weeks, who's actually not here tonight, so unfortunate for Weeks not being here, but he's got one of the best finishes, of course, dominating 2 of the events there in Twin Ring Motegi, so you would expect him to be up front here, racing well. Casey Carrington, the next highest out of those who have made 4 or more starts, we'll call it, with a 7th place average finish on these style of tracks, like the flat ovals, we'll call them. Zach Rogers, 7.4, James Silvers, 8. Stephen Miles, we'll throw him in there. He's got 3 starts, but he's got an 8th place average. Heller up there with an 8.5. So you're seeing the guys pretty much right now that run up front on these flat ovals. For the most part, they're the guys. As here's Zach Rogers under attack. Justin Thompson, who is inside. I believe those are teammates from the CX2 team. And pass complete there. "15 laps complete." And want to correct myself, Justin Thompson is not part of CX2. Actually, it's Josh Dillon, who's that 4th member, and Mike Husby, a part of that roster entering this season here. But so many different teams. Of course, I mentioned earlier the Eons Motorsports team, that one with Michael York, Jeff Nostan, Carnathan, and Nick Gowen, who's here tonight as part of that roster. But Nick having a good run right now in the 2nd position in the 31 car. Go back here to 30th as Brad Delph tries to work his way back up here through the field after his mishap there on the back straightaway. As Brad takes the 30th spot away from Jose Ruiz in the 23 car. And right in front of them, a battle for 27th. As the 42, Jake Panowski, the Bass Pro Shop car, gets the wall and then almost wrecks himself trying to get off of it. He's got the IKEA taxi mobile of Craig Martin to his inside. Charles Van Schaik has been able to work his way back up to 26th after his starting from the pits, so having a good start to his race here so far. We wonder how these arms are going to feel here tonight. Let's take a lap. Let's see how some of these guys are feeling. Let's go to Brandon Barkuski here in the 25. Let's watch the hands here and see how much loose he's fighting, if it's under throttle, if it's in a tight center per usual. Look, as soon as you touch the throttle, you're bringing that wheel back straight, almost over to the right. So, I mean, you get that car driving off the right rear. It's like a dirt car right here. Oh, yeah, there's some looseness. How about Kyle Ether in the 2? Let's watch him here. Trailing the 9 of Casey Carrington. About 9,400 RPM down to turn 1. Go back here to the 13th position as Mike Husby under Stephen Miles for position. Remember, Miles said during his pre-race interview he was just trying to keep his wheels under him tonight. Not only that, he had a sleeping baby. Being dad and being a driver tonight in that one car. And he's going to lose 2 spots back to the 14th position. Husby and Strunk both going by. Appreciate the viewers hanging out here tonight. 17 strong so far. Love to see that number go up, as always. That's the greedy side of me. But you can share that link out to your friends and family for their chance to come out and watch some good racing here tonight from the New Hampshire Motor Speedway. As up front, it is Mark Whitley leading by 0.2 of a second. Nick Owen kind of keeping him in touch. Justin Thompson about a second back. Zach Rogers, Christopher Heller, your top 5. Let's give a shout out to our friends at 40 Racewear for the great work that they do with gloves and shoes and so much more apparel for you. Check out 40racewear.com if you're looking to enhance your racing or want to just enhance your look. If you're sitting there in your rig or whatever and want to throw some gloves on, some racing shoes that are very comfortable, check out 40racewear.com. Based out of the Indianapolis area. 3 wide for 21st is Dylan Rosenberg. Must think he's in Talladega still from last night. Nick Sargent in there. Matter of fact, dueling Jeff Gordon paint schemes. As Sargent in the 24 and in the 35 of Legowski. Legowski about ran over Rosenberg. Almost had an alphabet soup accident there. Those cars are out here hanging on for their lives. Kyle Hall down here in the 90 car. Daniel Giroux, Justin Ray, and then you see the 00 Charles Van Schaik. .35 is sending it into the corners, and he's arcing it all the way up to that top groove. And believe it or not, that groove does work on iRacing. Like, until this season, you'd never seen that groove really work. And then they put the wet weather tires on in a NASCAR race, and they pretty much found wherever they could go and race it. The 35 is up there running where usually you don't run. Here on the hometown driver per se tonight. Steve Ritter in that 9 in the 9th position, 16 car. And the Leafguard of Vermont's car is, Matthew Casbarro's going around back here in the back straightaway. And he has straightened her back out. And we stay green back to this tussle. These guys can't sort it out. Oh. Everybody doing a good job here. And this is where this track gets tricky. Is you do got different braking points, and each part of the corner does have a 3-2-1 section where you can pick your marks and brake. Of course, with this car, so much horsepower, so much speed, you almost have to stop the car to enter the corner. So you're probably back near the 2 marker, I would think, if not the 3, but I wouldn't be surprised seeing these cars go to the 1. And oh, hold on, Ritter. Ritter out there racing like he's at Thompson or something. That's going to allow the 17 of James Silvers to get to his inside net Goodwrench car, and there's Husby behind him. This is 9th, 10th, and 11th. So we're trying to protect that bottom lane because you can send it in there. And that's where you get a lot of these accidents. You get to turn 3 and turn 1. You get a guy that wants is trying to get his nose to your inside, and you send it into the corner. And the guy all of a sudden just comes right down on your nose. And, well, next thing you hear is cautions out. Everybody okay? So 30 laps complete here already in the New England 225. As up here at third, Zach Rogers is passing Justin Thompson. Thompson falling back, the Daytona winner. Back to the 4th position as Rogers giving that 19 ride a good one here early in this race. As I always peek over here at the board to see who's where and what's going on. And some reason my eyes continue to go back here to the 23rd, 24th position because it seems like the pack is getting bigger back here. You got one car blinking out. Rosenberg's already moved his way through. He's up to 20th after starting in the 31st position. So you know he's feeling pretty good right now after last night's league win. Kyle Hall out of shape. Looks like maybe got the outside wall a little bit there. He should be okay as he's going to slide up the track here and try to regain his wits about him. Checking on Brandon Barkuski. He's under attack. John Osborne, rookie leader in the points right now after 2 races. 16th position here, 15th and 16th. As Nathan Mon has joined us, and what's his name? Let's see, who's in the field named Nicky? Oh, would that be, is that going, I assume he's cheering on, or is that down here at Sargent? There's a couple of Nicks in here. As 81 makes the pass on Barkuski for the position. I love seeing new people in here. It's so awesome. It's like you get to know them, and my first goal when a new viewer jumps in here and is watching is just make them feel at home. Welcome in. Hello. I would say grab a drink, but I have no way of getting it to you. That's awesome. Good for you. That's awesome. Nicky Dollars. Is that a actual nickname or is that just something you've come up with right there? Oh, 35 up the track. Might have to call this high group the Legowski lane. He's made his own racing line up here. Fair enough. So Mark Whitley, 1.1 second lead now over Nick Goen. Zach Rogers, 3rd position. 1.7 seconds back from the 31 car. And then it's Justin Thompson, who's right here in front of the lap car of Matthew Casbaro, who went for a little trip drive-through, maybe, shall we say, through the grass. As there goes Heller. And the 8 car is Hunter Canyon off the track. As he decides to go off-roading right in front of the field. He almost comes back up. Good job to stay low there as we stay green. As Kyle Ethier there, 7th position right now. Spence Thompson coming up that top 3 finish in Chicagoland last week. He is 8th. James Silver's up 4 spots to 9th right now. And Steve Ritter, your top 10 here as we come up to lap number 40. That's awesome. And for those new to the chat, appreciate obviously you joining us. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And your job, as I like to say, tell 2 friends to tell 2 friends. Because if you tell 2 friends and then they go tell 2 friends, guess what those friends are going to do? They're going to go tell 2 more friends. It's, hold on, Silvers gets loose there. And you get that, that would be 8 new viewers. I'm just putting it out there, throwing it out there. I hope everybody's having a great Thursday night. I'm still getting used to this series being on a Thursday night. Back here, these 2 back at it is Kyle Hall trying to hold off the 23 of Ruiz. That is for 28th position. Funny, there were a lot of drivers fearing, as Mike Husby goes for a save here, fearing a little bit of a wreck fest tonight. They thought it would be some yellow fever this evening. And here we are so far, knock on wood. There it is for you, 43 laps caution free. Oh, the legend. Ladies and gentlemen, all rise. Leslie Lull is in the building in chat. The Daytona winner from season 7. And arguably one of the most, can I get away with saying the word ballsy? I think I can. My channel, right? Finishes I've ever seen. All right, let's go back here. Mark Husky, 16th position. Christopher Murphy up 8 spots here in this race so far, as he is there in the 17th spot trying to get the spot away. And I should mention leaders are starting to lap cars. He's lapped Casbar and Wortman already. Ride with Murphy down the back straightaway here. And it looks like Casboro's going to come to pit road. Go up here for the 6th, make that 7th position is Silvers inside of Ethier. James just a little free over the transition there. Ethier's going to get the run down the straightaway here, but in turn 1, Silvers should be able to drive it in here and slide up the track. That's exactly what he's going to do and complete the pass. As Kyle Hall's going to come to pit road. And Mark Whitley early on pit road. Here comes the leader. Mark saying, get me off these tires. His times had fallen off about almost 2 seconds, I would say. As Whitley, Heller, and Ethy are all on pit road here. Good stop for Whitley, 14.7. Zach Rogers, Justin Thompson, Casey Carrington on pit road here. Carrington almost overshooting his pit stall. This is actually Casey's first race he was sharing tonight at New Hampshire on iRacing. So welcome to this track, buddy. I've run it a few times myself. As 15-second stop for Thompson, 14.3 for Carrington. And here comes second place, now leader, I should say, Nick Gowen. Lap 50, he comes in. A lot of these drivers are going to split this race in thirds, it looks like, or close to thirds. As Nick Sargent, Daniel Drew, Tyler Bellinger, Christopher Murphy on pit road at lap 41, or lap 50, I should say. And Gowen leaves pit road, a little bit of a slower stop for him. And for those new to iRacing, there's a blue cone on the back straightaway that you have to stay to the inside on the apron all the way around the track until you get to that point before you can merge. As Josh Dillon on pit road, so is the 89 of Spence Thompson with his crying Jordan meme pit board. That's kind of cool. Leo, Cannon, Husby, Silvers, Thompson all on pit road as mentioned. That hands the lead to Steve Ritter, leading at his home track. Brad Delph, Hunter Canyon, so that leaves about 9 cars left to pit, and here comes the hometown driver, Steve Ritter. Leafguard of Vermont, number 16. Justin Ray on pit road. Craig Martin is in. As he pulls away, Stephen Miles leading now as Ryan Strunk comes to pit road. Here's your leader now. Chicagoland winner. Miles pulling down. I think he might be coming to pit road right here, lap 54. Not surprised by the strategy at all. Go about to a third distance. So they started pitting right around lap number 47. Obviously, you do 47 and 2. It's going to get you to lap 94, which will get you to lap 141. Pretty simple math, if you ask me. As Miles brings that laser racing car to pit road, John Osborne. Now, he and Jeff Noe, the only two not to be on pit road yet. And here comes Osborne now, so that'll hand the lead back over to Mark Whitley. And once we get a pit cycle in, we'll take you through the field and show you where everybody is. If you're cheering on a driver, I'll show you where they're at in this race. as Osborne in no pit. So there's the last of the cars to come to pit road as we take you through the field now officially after the first round of pit stops. Mark Whitley leads it by not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5.6 seconds over the 19 of Zach Rogers, who pitted 1 lap later than the driver in the 77 car. Nick Goen, the 31 car, running in the 3rd position. He is actually catching the 19 car, and that's right there. You're going to see a battle here in just a second for that, and if we see it, we'll come back to it. Justin Thompson in the 4th position. There's Thompson. Justin is about 7 seconds back from the leader. Christopher Heller there in the 5th position at Elliott Henderson Graphics number 8. He is 8 seconds back from the lead. There's Casey Carrington, 6th position. Kyle Ethier running his, I guess you call it home track, as he's up here in the Connecticut area. Running in the 7th position right now. James Silver's in the 8th spot in the 17, up 5 positions. He is 14.7 seconds back. Spence Thompson in the 9th position. That Snap-on the 89 car, doing a good job here so far. He is 16 seconds back. And then Mike Husby, the Siemens number 6, is 18.7 seconds back right now from the leader. Steve Ritter, just outside the top 10 now, 11th position for him, as he is 20 seconds back from the leader. Old Josh Dillon in the number 12 Dodge, running 12th. And the math works out there. He is 23 seconds back from the lead. Ryan Strunk, 64 car, 13th position, and 24 seconds back. He's about a half second or so off of Josh Dillon. And Stephen Miles in the 14th position, just getting a little loose there in that 1 car. Stephen is 26 seconds back from the lead. Christopher Murphy back here, 15th position, is up 10 spots from the start of this race on a track that's tough to pass. It's a pretty good job on his part. As, oh, caution! Brandon Barkuski is going around over in turn 1. And for the first time tonight, yellow on the track. See some right front damage on the 25. We'll see if he got some help. Or if it just came around on him. Let's see, as he had just gotten lapped by Whitley. You see the 25 is in a Pontiac. I'm wondering if he drove it too deep into the corner trying to pass Whitley here. Let's see. Sends it. Oh, wow. He and Whitley come together. Oh. Lady Barkuski was racing to stay on the lead lap. And he and the 77 come together. I'll have to watch that again. I just turned my head at that part. You could tell that Barkuski was sending it in there pretty deep to try to clear the 77. And Mark had a pretty high arc into the corner. Let's watch again. Mark gives up the corner. And, oh, yeah, Brandon locked up the brakes. You can see the left front smoking. Mark obviously probably going to be a little disappointed by that. So caution out and playoff. There's no playoffs here, Nathan, but good try. But yeah, it looks like Barkuski just locks the brakes up, slides up into the 77. And caution out, and should mention the 77 has come to pit road. Mark Whitley Obviously, see what kind of damage he has on that 77 car, and yeah, that left front's crinkled in. We'll have to see if he can get that fixed, and might have to get an old plunger out and that thing out. A little hot water. But Whitley comes in on lap 62. So did Murphy. So did Strunk, Miles. And a few cars coming to pit road here. So now we're going to have a good old Yahtzee bag of strategy here. And this first caution just shy of the halfway point here. And that's going to hand the lead over here to Zachary Rogers in the 19. I'm just calling the race, Brantley. I know what he means. Hey, big shout out again. Appreciate everybody watching here tonight. And while we're under caution, as per usual, want to send a shout out to my buddy Mark. We're there at MC Racing in Fort Wayne. And I know they coming up on a weekend. There's a big event downtown, so would expect to see some people going in and checking out sim racing and what it's all about. And usually Mark has Captain eSports Network on the TVs back there. Probably has it there tonight as shop is open and people get to learn about sim racing. So looking forward to getting back in there again and then running some laps myself. And who knows in the near future when I'll do that. But obviously, big shout out to Mark and MC Racing. Make sure you check them out. If you come through the downtown Fort Wayne area, tell him the captain sent you. He might charge you double. I'm just kidding. Mark's a good guy. But yeah, tell him the captain sent you. All right, coming to the green here, lap 65 is Zach Rogers. It's like 2000 all over again. The Dodge. And then there's Earnhardt. And then there's another Dodge. As we go to turn one. We're going to see how the slightly used tires versus new tires go here. This should be interesting. This track has always been interesting when it comes to newer tires. As Thompson clears to the lead. Dale's going to the lead, boys. It's always interesting, though. It seems like at this track that you can be fast the first probably, I don't know, 5 to 10 laps on newer tires, and it seems like it just evens out. I don't know if that's changed or not, but that just seemed how it always was for me. But then again, I was not the best. Oh, back there, that's Martin, I think. 3 wide into 3. I was never the best flat tracker on iRacing. Thompson to the front for the first time tonight. I'll possibly second time. Rogers to second, Heller to third, Carrington losing a position to Kyle Ethier. Update on the 77, and Mr. Whitley's up to the 12th position right now after that restart. Matter of fact, there he is back there. Gets a little free down there in that flat part of the banking. So 70 laps complete now as Thompson, Rogers, Ethier, Heller, and Silvers battle here for 6th as here comes Silvers trying to take the 5th position. Carrington there in the 6th spot. And Nick Goen, who pitted under that last caution, he and Ethier And silvers have the freshest tires of the group. Carrington getting loose and now contact with Whitley. It looked like maybe there. I saw Carrington get loose and maybe some contact with a 31. And I see some left front damage on the 9 now. As look at this, in 1993 all over again. This Rust-Out caution as Hunter Cannon has gone around over here in the 28. Oh, we almost had a 1993 flashback. Oh, more cars involved here. The 55 of Jeff No is involved. So is the 23 of Jose Ruiz. And we have our second caution just past the halfway point. And let's see the replay here. Roll that beautiful beam footage. A lot of cars just getting loose through the corners. And maybe some contact there, and wow, 55 gets back to the throttle and yeet. The 20, oh, look out, 55 back goes over. Let's crash cam this one. There's a decent amount of cars on the pit road here. Oh, wow. Brad Delph and a couple cars get involved there. I don't know. It looked kind of interesting there because it looks like the 55 went to enter 3 and flipped the 28, got himself out of shape, and then went and cleaned out the 28. See if I see this right. Yeah, they were just going into the corner, a little contact, nothing bad, and then, well, things escalate from there. All right, so lap cars on pit road. And we did have some leaders come to pit road here. Looks like 8th place on down. Starting with Justin Thompson, Zach Rogers, Heller, Ritter, Husby, Bellinger, Dillon, Osborne, Sargent, Giroux, Whitley, Carrington, Delph, and Van Schaik all came to pit road there. I mean, let's go back to right before the caution here. It's up front. I mean, look at this right here. Could you imagine the year 1993? Rusty Wallace and Dale Earnhardt racing hard at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. At the time, New Hampshire International Raceway. Or it was New Hampshire Raceway? I can't remember what it was called. Wallace actually went to victory lane in that race. New Hampshire Speedway. Time. I can't remember. I have to go look it up. You should know this. All right, lap 76 coming back to the green flag, and let's hope they keep it in one piece because we're going to turn it up. That is the 21 of Murphy. That's the 21 of Murphy for those counting. That's in the outside wall. They're going to turn 3, but we'll continue. Looks like we're green, so I'll shut up. All types of different things going on there. Is I saw Mike Husby go into the grass a little bit there. I saw another car head for the grass the next lap. Yeah, it was kind of wild there for a little bit. But up front, James Silvers is taking the lead. So we talked about Rusty getting passed by Dale potentially. Instead, he gets passed by Kevin Harvick, who has Robbie Gordon behind him, who's got Jeremy Mayfield behind him. I'm kidding, obviously, here. But Silvers going, Zach Rogers is an all like old school paint scheme up front here. Appreciate the kind words, Nathan. That's actually all on a guy named Istvan, the gentleman that has put all these cameras together for Track Cams for Gourmet. Their website is trackcams22.com. You get all different types of packages, including a camera set that you can get if you were like a road worker on a road course, or a I think he has a VR set now available, and also like one that you're sitting in a crowd. As a matter of fact, there's one particular camera. Is it on this one or not? I do not have it here. But most tracks, I can actually go look like I'm in the crowd. So Nick Goen has just gone to the front, and now we got Dale versus Skinner, or whatever you want to call this here. And all these cars racing hard now as we're at lap 83. Thompson sends her in there, and the 3's going to take the lead here. And all of a sudden, we got 3 Richard Childers paint schemes up front. Heller back there, 5th position's been consistent. The hometown driver, 1 of 2. Steve Ritter in that 16 car. He's up here. The other one right behind him, Kyle Ether in that 2. Go figure, you go to a track in New England, and that's when the New Englanders show up. Not that Ritter's never shown up. He does a good job racing, but here he is, a chance to potentially get a good win. Yeah, Nathan, he does a lot of the work. I mean, he did a majority of the cameras. There are some things I've done recently, actually in the last week or two. I've actually kind of put together my own, like, 1 or 2 cameras in the race. And trying to make them kind of droney, so I'll let you guess which ones those are on the track. Is The McDonald's car of Casboro's gone for a lift again, it looks like. Down or off turn 2, but we stay green. Back here racing hard. You see Whitley is driven back to the 10th position. Carrington following him up to 11th. Josh Dillon right there. Here, I'll give you a link here. This is the website. Just copy and paste that right there. And you'll see the packages and stuff that he has. It's just like a donation, and you can get like all these cameras. And he charges a good amount, but you know what? They're worth it when it's over with. They got spotter cams here, as a matter of fact, for those curious. Somebody like Brantley who's spotting for Mark Whitley in the 77. You get spotter cams here on this. And look here, just like you're in turn 3, sitting up there on top of the press box. There's all these different kind of camera setups you can get and stuff. Our 87 laps complete. Thompson 1.2 seconds up on Zach Rogers. Nick Goen has fallen to 3rd. Now the front 4 of those 5 drivers pitted at the last caution at lap 73. Well, if I could find a way to get the drone, if I could find a way to create a drone cam, I know there's a way to do it. I just haven't learned it yet. Like there's that camera right there I set up. But if there was a way to actually have a drone, I still know already how I'd want to do it. All right, let's check out Charles Van Schaik back here at the 13th position. Inside of the 81 of John Osborne, he's got Bellinger there behind him. Up in front, Josh Dillon, 13th position. Going, doing a good job of keeping the tires on him, even though he's on older tires. As Justin Ray has gone spinning over here on the road course. Spunning, there's a word for you. Spins over on the road course. Believe it or not, there is a road course over there in that part of the track. Ask Stephen Melnick, he'll tell you. I actually ran a league race there a couple seasons ago as somebody was interesting enough to put I think it was the Gen 4 cars, as a matter of fact, or the ARCA cars on the New Hampshire road course, which, oh, by the way, is a motorcycle course. Whitley under attack as Carrington was inside. That battle goes on. We got this battle here. Silvers gets free underneath the 31. He'll have to catch it there for a second as Carrington going to pass to 77 for position. The car I am watching here is the guy that has passed both Silvers and Nick Goins, and that is Ritter, up to 4th now as he's chasing that A car. Look out. Could we get 2 straight first-time winners in 2 weeks? So the one thing I'm seeing here in this Gen 4 car is that tires are meaning something. You know, I talked earlier about how they kind of seem like they level off after a while, but I mean, I'm definitely seeing the cream rise to the top with the newer tires. But obviously, this is going to open up a whole different theory of pit strategy here, because let's say this race goes green from here. You're looking at most of these guys pitting at 73 as Kyle Ethier is actually coming to pit road now. This was not what I expected. Lap 95, Ethier is in for his final pit stop, I think. I was going to say 62, you go 50, you get to 117 or so with 55 laps. So that's another 22 laps away. Boy, I just thought back to the days. Remember when Rusty had the pit crew back in the 90s? Those boys were fast as all get out when they were with, was it Robin Pemberton was his crew chief, I think, back then? As the two pulls away, Nick Goins on pit road. Well, an interesting short pit here from these guys. They're going to lose a lap. As Delta time is about 43 or so seconds. There goes Nick off pit road. Make that 40 seconds. A little short of 43. And there's your leader, Thompson, by 4/10 over Zach Rogers. As mentioned, Heller up here in the third spot. Steve Ritter, James Silver's your top five. Watching the 81 of Osborne, the 12 of Dillon. Well, Charles Van Schaik up to the 10th position. This guy started the race on pit road, went a lap down, got his lap back, and now is, oh, there goes Ethier off the track. I think Ethier dropped the beer or something. That's those colder tires. You got to let these tires get up to temp. Again, next week, the Lady in Black, Darlington Raceway for race 4 of the All-American Cup Series. We'll have it for you at 8:15 next Thursday night. As we got league racing tomorrow night, also some dirt racing. You can come join us for that. We get a night off and kick off 6 nights of racing in 7 nights. You heard me right. Starting Sunday, 6 nights of racing in a row. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So make sure you hit that subscribe button, be a part, get the notifications so you can be right here hanging out with me each night. And it's going to be a lot of different racing, a lot of different styles, and so on and so forth. So hopefully you can come join us for that, including the All-American Cup Series here at Darlington next Thursday night as Dylan Rosenberg comes to pit road. So you're getting a lot of the guys at lap 62 coming into pit road here. So James Silvers, let's see, Spence Thompson, Christopher Murphy. Those three, it looked like, are the only ones on the lead lap that have pitted and have not pitted yet. And Mark Whitley's going to hang a left and come to pit road here. So Brantley Roden calling his boy to pit road. Will we see 2 tires here potentially? Because Mark did pit at lap 73. Let's see what he does. Is Brad Delph on pit road also? Does he try a tire strategy here to get some track position? He does not. 4 tires and fuel. He's going to try the undercut here. $14.7 for Mark. As Thompson's lead is evaporated. As Christopher Murphy's come to pit road, lap 103, and Zach Rogers to the inside for the lead and takes it. So I believe for the first time, as part of the CX2 bunch, Zach Rogers to the lead. As Thompson struggling now with the handling of this car. Casey Carrington on pit road. Brian Wertman comes to pit road. Steve Ritter. James Silvers is in. And it looks like here we go with the round of pit stops. Should be the final stops if we stay green. $25 viewers. Thank you guys very much. Appreciate everybody coming to hang out. Feel free to say hello if you'd like. Always enjoy chatting with the viewers here tonight. Appreciate Brantley and Nathan, sorry. Melnick, of course, hanging out here tonight from Braselton, Georgia. So Zach Rogers, Justin Thompson, Spence Thompson, no relation. Daniel Drew on pit road. As Rogers leaves, 15-second stop for he and Thompson. As Miles, Martin, Leo, Mahan, and Vinosky all on pit road. 107, so 34 laps to go here. And the leader now is Heller back there in the 8. This field's all mixed up now. See, I've got, according to this, 4 guys who have not pitted yet in this stint, if you will. And when it's all over with, Nick Goen is actually going to be the leader of this race. And it's not going to be by much, because you look right behind the 31 here. There is Zach Rogers. And I'm going to go ahead and kind of plant this seed a little bit here. I've been starting to think about this. I know one of the reasons that, you've been seeing a lot of upgrades and stuff here in 2024 on the Captain eSports Network, because I continue to work on things, by the way, is that part of me that wants to go win some awards. So I'm placing it out there for you guys right now. Hear the word out to your friends, the iRacing forums, to wherever. I don't care. Reddit. As Heller comes to pit road. Captain wants to be the best. I'm trying. There's a lot of good ones out there. A lot of good ones. A lot of good groups of people. Just, caution is out. Josh Dillon has gone for a spin on the back straightaway. And he gets clobbered by the taxi of Craig Martin. Let's say last time a car sat backwards like that, we saw a helmet fly and somebody get called a piece of crap. Let's see what happened to Josh Dillon. I was just about to say, though, a lot of great broadcasters in iRacing, but I know there's some awards out there I saw last year, and I was like, I'm going to do what I can to win this. Josh gets loose and corrects it back onto the track, and then you're going to see this IKEA yellow taxi come in here in a second. Wait for it. And there he is. As Dillon brings it back to pit road, unfortunately, and caution is out. And this makes it interesting, because now you've got drivers like Charles Van Schaik and Nick Sargent that are going to be able to come back to pit road here, and they're going to get fresh tires. Meanwhile, you got these guys like Rogers and Thompson, and looks like Nick Goen's going to come to pit road. So is Whitley. Carrington's coming back. Will they put on their final set of tires here? This is interesting right here. I feel like Charles Van Schaik and those guys had to pit here, obviously, but these other ones, I'm a little curious of here. As we're getting towards the end of the race, and we know what can happen towards the end of these races sometimes. So tonight, Zach Rogers' 76th career start in the All-American Cup Series. Just want to check things out here real quick. He's got 4 career wins. The problem, though, was that last win came November of 2022 at Homestead Miami Speedway, which is a long time ago. And let's bring up the driver here, the 19, looking to get his first win with the CX2 team here as Rogers joins us. Zach, obviously been a tough race out there, and a lot of green flag racing, which has been good, a lot of strategy coming into play. But here, you and Thompson, you guys stay out, obviously, in this caution here with a little under 30 laps to go, looking for that first win in almost 2 years. Are we feeling good tonight?
I feel all right. Yeah, it's been hot. I don't know if you really know what happened there not too long ago, but the temperature just shot up about 40 degrees. It's starting to come back down now. But yeah, we were ice skating there for a minute. But I got a good handle of it. I think I know what to do, how to control myself through the rest of this thing. So we'll just hope things lay out in our favor.
So it sounds like you had a little bit of an appearance by the sun is what I'm getting out of that. But
yeah, just a little bit.
Let's see what we got right here. Track temp at 129 right now. Well, obviously
they got up to like 160.
Oh my gosh, holy moly.
Yeah.
That's pretty high. Well, hey, best of luck, man. Hopefully we'll see you in victory lane here. First time in the 19 car tonight, maybe. We'll see.
Yep, thank you, sir. Hopefully see you in a bit.
Yes, sir. Zach Rogers going to restart P1 as got Thompson on his outside. Can you imagine that track temp jumped up that? I've seen it to 141 once. I've never seen it get to 160 on iRacing. That would be interesting. All right, so we come back to the green flag. Lap number 114. 27 laps to go as Rogers leads them. We'll have to keep an eye on these guys with the fresh tires if they used them. Unfortunately, I can't tell other than guessing off of their times on pit road. Ooh, Husby getting loose again. As Rogers clears for the lead as they cross the line. Everybody good so far down to turn 1. Seeing some 3 wide back here with Whitley and Carrington. That is Daniel Giroux in the middle. Now they're almost 4 wide. You see those bumps over there. That is where the crossover gate is for the road course. I mean, look at this. I mean, Whitley's driving that thing down to Boston to try to clear here, and he does. And this is getting big. Hold on, Kyle. Oh, and nice job at the 67 to check up. Or, I'm sorry, the 64 stroke. He could have easily laid the to the waist right there. Up front, Whitley up to the 9th position. As he brings the 81 of Osborne with him. As Murphy falls back. Cars out of the race. Brandon Barkuski, Brian Wortman, Justin Ray, Josh Dillon, and Tyler Bellinger with issues as he goes around. And Giroux gets clobbered by the 35. And there's the fourth caution. Looks like this is going to start up ahead with Bellinger. Oh, wow. Oh, and Whitley gets a piece of it. Just saw that. And then they check up. So I'm sorry, I didn't see the beginning of the wreck. I saw the end of it. Let's get a better view of this. Unfortunately, Whitley is hit again here. Whitley with a rough start to, oh, the 89 clipped him. And then Whitley, nowhere to go, just kind of finishes him off there to a little T-bone steak. And everybody checks up, and there's another T-bone. It's so weird how, you know, we talked about it a couple seasons ago, how some of the champions were having the bad luck. Whitley goes and wins a championship 2 seasons ago, and then he goes out last year, and it looked maybe at the beginning he might have some bad luck, but then took off and won some races and ended up winning another championship. But here this season, it's like all of a sudden, has the bad luck shown up all of a sudden for the 77? Has some cars on pit road here. Dylan Rosenberg, and then obviously other damaged cars here. Yeah, I don't know what you can do about that one, but that's kind of a lost cause on that one. For those just joining us here tonight, appreciate you joining us on the Captain eSports Network. Let's show you what the schedule looks like here for the season in the All-American Cup Series. Next week, the Darlington Raceway. Then we have the Michigan Speedway coming up on the 5th of September. Nashville Super Speedway on the 12th. Indianapolis, Kentucky, Watkins Glen, the one road course on the schedule this season. Kansas, Talladega, Richmond. Then we'll take the week off for Halloween and then finish it up at Charlotte and Homestead. The final 2 races of the season. So you can come join us all the races here on the Captain eSports Network for the fall season here on Thursday nights for the first time in series history. And we've had good turnouts the first 3 races. And we've had some wild finishes. I don't know how else you could plan this one out. So I don't know how else to word this. The front row, we've got a Jeremy Mayfield / Elliott Sadler Dale Earnhardt paint scheme, followed by a Kevin Harvick / I guess you'd go Earnhardt, same car, different paint scheme, with a Jeremy Mayfield / Elliott Sadler paint scheme on the outside. Literally flip-flopped. That's kind of interesting. As we come to the green, 19 laps to go. Whitley stays on track, 6th position there with Heller there in the 5th spot. Green flag back out. We're going to see how much nose damage that 77 car has. They're going to go 3 wide and send Husby up the track. If there's good news about this old school cup car, is this thing can take a pretty good beating and still end up okay. As Rogers clears the lead, Whitley trying to clear Heller for 4th. by the way, I should share for those who get to see the YouTube shorts and the TikTok videos for the Captain Esports Network, when I usually just kind of replay the final laps so you can see how the race ended in all this series. Yes, you're noticing I am a week behind, but I'm going to obviously use these days when I'm not broadcasting to catch up a little bit and get all the streams there for you. So bear with me as we're almost 4 wide right here, almost 5 wide. Oh, some contact right in front of Miles. As everybody scatters, but I appreciate everybody's support on those. Hopefully you've enjoyed those, and I'm getting a ton of views for them. Going to continue to post them here day by day until I get them all caught up again. The schedule gets a little busy, and sometimes don't get a chance to do them. 3 wide, Miles back here with Goins, and around goes the 21 of Murphy. Rosenberg's going to spin it down into the 55, and more cars involved. Promotion to Admiral. No, I like the captain name. Half you guys don't even know where I get the name from. And it's caution with 15 laps to go. Miles sends her down there on the apron. He gets a little loose. He's running that wet tire line. The 21 just loses the back end. Rosenberg spins her around. Nice job by Delft to miss. And then 28 clobbers to 22. Let's get the crash cam on this one. Everybody, for the most part, is staying out. Got a couple cars coming to pit road, maybe for damage. Watch this 21 just loses the back end right here. Yeah, that's like an old school Gen 4 wreck right there. 55 with some damage. Nice job by Bass Pro car of Vinosky to get through. What has been a pretty good race here. Up to the end of it. 13 to go. There's Nick Leo going by for Spanky Jr.'s watching, asked what is Jewel Car doing while he's racing. Yeah, the captain name, by the way, for those who don't know why I get my name from, it's kind of funny that Anthony Calantoni was kind of talking about it. He, of course, is the Talking Giants podcast, and of course they got Captain Morgan as the sponsor, and of course my comeback to him when he told me that was, where do you think I get my name from? Funny story is, I'll share it real quickly here. So you go back to when I first started on iRacing, I was hanging out with a group of guys. Haven't really talked to them much, but a good group of guys. And we had one car. We used to run all these races like till late at night during the week and stuff, and on the weekends, a league called Nordgar back in the day. And we used to do mystery races and stuff. Didn't know what we were running, what car, whatever. And we had one guy that would run the Cheetos car, and we called him Cheetos. Then we had another guy that ran a Superman paint scheme, and he was known as Superman. And I'm like, well, I need a paint scheme. And, of course, at that time, I, was enjoying myself with Captain Morgan. So I put together a Captain Morgan paint scheme, and I didn't put together. I had a guy named David Fish put it together, and things come together, and all of a sudden they started calling me the Captain. That's where the nickname comes from. And I still actually do have that paint scheme, and I've ran it. What car did I run? I ran it on a next-gen car, or I want to say I ran it in like the 600 last season or something like that. There you go. Nice little note for you guys. Hey, speaking of notes, next week, for the first time in league history, a driver will hit their 100th league start in the series, and it's that guy right there, the boss man, Casey Carrington. A big shout out to Casey for 100 starts. Well, I appreciate that. Problem is I haven't raced in like 2 months, but I'll definitely do that, Brantley. I appreciate that. Go find some old videos. I've won a couple races in it. All right, here we go. Zach Rogers and Justin Thompson, 12 laps to go. How is this thing going to end? We're going to find out right now. Row 2 silvers in Whitley. And Heller and Carrington, your top 6. Al Ethier back up to the 7th position. And this is the part of the race where things could get spicy. Look at going, sends it down on the apron. Here comes Miles into the picture. And Cohen's going to run the rain line again. We call that the rain line after the Cup race this year, right? The apron. Ten laps to go. The battle for third, and caution's back out. And I'm looking to see who it is. Uh-oh. Nick Leo's gone around in the Jewel car. Unfortunately, cautions breed cautions. And I think we have a spilt vape on the track or something. I think the 55 and 28 are not liking each other. Oh, no! What in the world was that? Let's go back to this, because, like, it looks like the 28 to 55 are still not happy with each other here. Watch 55 here, kind of slowing up the 28. There's a bump. Here comes a brake check right there. And then Nick Leo becomes an innocent bystander here. And Craig Martin, that poor guy. I might see some drivers called to the All-American truck after the race. We'll have to see here. Of course, no more race admin anymore as Mr. Joseph has stepped away to focus on life stuff. Probably not the caution you would want if you're trying to get up there to lead, especially like Mark Whitley in the third spot now has got the restart and trying to fight off silvers and others here. And then all you're seeing now are the laps track down. If you ever get a chance to come up this way to this track, one thing I will, of course, talk about, and I shared this earlier in the race, but this is the home of modifieds up in this area. Of course, you get a lot of tracks like Thompson, as I mentioned, in Connecticut. You got Riverhead there on Long Island, New Hampshire, just to name a few tracks off the top of my head here. But the Modified Museum is right, I believe it's over near the 3 and 4 area here, outside the track, was opened up and put together, if you remember, Dr. Dick Bergeron, who is a former broadcaster with CBS and Fox and those guys. He helped put the thing together, being a modified guy himself. And really cool museum. I've heard a lot of great things about it up in that area. Learn about that style of racing. Yep, Stafford, Seekonk, thank you, Steve. I just thought about that. That's just to name a few up in that area. The track that was on Lost Speedways that actually Dick Bergeron was with Junior at. There's that little, like a bull ring. All right, who's going to win the first ever race here at New Hampshire for the All-American Cup Series with its presenting partners, Leafguard of Vermont, as we're going to come to the green with 5 laps to go. It is Zach Rogers, Justin Thompson, Mark Whitley, James Silvers, Christopher Heller, your top 5. The cream has risen to the top, and we'll see who can go to victory lane. Silver's not the best of restarts. As Thompson holding Rogers down. I mean, Thompson's right there on his door. 4 to go. As Silver's the 4th in the battle for 5th with Carrington and Heller. Gonna pull this one out. Rogers almost cleared him off too. Had to give him the room. Oh, contact. Here comes Whitley. Mark Whitley takes advantage. 3 to go. What was that slump I was talking about a little bit ago? Oh, caution. Steve Ritter involved. And some others. There we go. And we're going to go to overtime. Ryan Strunk. And the hometown driver of Ritter, unfortunately, going to be out of this thing, or chance to win out. Oh, a little net code there at the 81. Oh, and he gets blasted by Bellinger. Miles gets a little bit of damage. Definitely interesting there. Slight net code, I would say. Maybe not. There was some hitting there. That angle changed things a little bit. And let's see what happened up here for the lead, because it got interesting. Looked like Rogers got loose on entry as Thompson was trying to arc it in there. I don't know if Rogers got the bumps maybe pretty good there, and the car got upset, but Whitley took advantage to the bottom. Thompson probably not going to be too thrilled about that, and I think they're hanging in the same chat too. Let's see it again here. It looks like Rogers, though. Let's watch. There's a series of bumps over here in the 3 that can upset your car right here. And yeah, I think Rogers gets loose. Let's go inside the car. Too late, a little too late on that one. Try this again. Let's watch the hands here. Yeah, they're fighting hard. Right there's the bumps. Yeah, he's up. Oh, yeah. That, well, might have locked the brakes up even. One way to tell if he locked the brakes up. Let's go to the actual cockpit cam. Yeah, I want to watch his RPMs. Yeah, you can see how the RPMs just drop. Yeah, he locked it up. And Whitley took advantage. And to the front goes to 77. As we go to overtime here, officially. Going to be interesting to see here, because I'm sure just looking at the cars up front here, there's a few guys here I could probably say that are not afraid to use their front bumper if they need to. Problem is with these cars, you use the front bumper, you're spinning them out. Chrome horn's not the same in this car. Going to lead him to the green, into the restart zone. He launches, green flag. Green, white checker, spinning the tires, and Thompson with a bad restart. Can Silvers, Rogers, those guys get back to the 77? Looks like I saw some smoke. We're clean up now. They're wrecking. And I think we crossed the start-finish line. Should be white flag. Big wreck towards the back. Heller's involved in others. We'll come back to that replay as Mark Whitley leads them off turn 2. Got a half second on Silvers. As Whitley, going to be the comeback kid here tonight as the two-time champion. Brings it off turn 4 and gets himself a lobster. Whitley wins in New Hampshire and in New England 225. Silvers, Rogers, Goen, and Ethier, your top 5. As Whitley celebrates another win. And quickly is getting to that all-time win number as he now sits one behind, tying that all-time number, 17th career win here for Whitley. That is a mangled up nose, by the way. As he parks it there at the start-finish line, we'll talk to him in just a minute. Let's actually go back. As we were coming to the white flag, there was a wreck back there on the front straightaway. Let's see what happened here. Yeah, the 3 and the 8 with contact to look like there, and the 8 spins back up the track and nails a couple of cars. Get another look at that real quick from this view. Carrington gets some damage in that too. As all that was behind Mark Whitley. Let's take a look at the final results here from New Hampshire. as Whitley wins it by a half second over James Silvers. Zach Rogers finishing in the 3rd position, so unfortunately that win streak still, or the winless streak from almost 2 years now continues on, but I think that win's going to be coming for him soon. Nick Goen gets a 4th place finish. Kyle Ethier 5th. Justin Thompson 6th. Spence Thompson another top 10 there in the 7th spot. Nick Sargent 8th. Stephen Miles 9th. Charles Van Shank gets the top 10. Casey Carrington ends up 11th. Kyle Hall gets 12th place run for him. Mike Cusby 13th. Daniel Giroux 14th. And Nick Leo with a top 15 finish. 16th going to Jared Mahan. Dan Legowski 17th. Brad Delph 18th. John Osborne 19th. Tyler Bellinger 20th. Ryan Strunk 21st. Jeff No 22nd. Hunter Cannon 23rd. Dylan Rosenberg 24th. Christopher Heller ends up 25th after that contact there. Murphy ends up 26th. Matthew Casbaro finishing 27th. Jake Vanowski 28th. Jose Ruiz 29th. Steve Ritter 30th. Craig Martin 31st. Josh Dillon 32nd. Justin Ray 33rd. Brian Wortman 34th. Brandon Barkuski ends up 35th, unfortunately, on the field. As we'll talk to our top 3 drivers here as they're in the waiting room waiting. As Rogers ends up in the 3rd position. Obviously, Zach, everything was looking fairly solid for you there until turn 3 happened. Looked like locked the brakes.
Yeah, just a rookie mistake. I've already apologized to Justin. I'm more mad about it than Justin is. I've apologized to him like 20 times already, and I don't know, he was telling me not to sweat it, but it's a rookie mistake. I was just trying to keep an advantage on him and keep an eye on Mark behind me, and I was just talking to Mark. He said he was trying to just get me nervous, and succeeded at it. It was just one of those deals. It's unfortunate, but something to learn from, and hopefully come back to.
Is it as easy as it looks to lock your tires up at a track like this with so much horsepower?
It was after that spike in the heat, because we kind of stayed out, and after we pitted and got fresh tires, it was still around 150, 140 when we came back out. So, I mean, we were babying it, but it's still hot. It still put heat on the tires no matter what. So after a run like that, yeah, I mean, there's only really one line to run, and any little bit to deviate off of it, and the car just starts doing weird things. So yeah, it was just something we kind of had to look out for all night, and the slightest little mistake and something like that could happen.
That's a tough situation obviously to see, but as I look over here as we're entering the points here this evening, kind of a hit or miss type of start here. I know you'd want it to be a little better, being that entering tonight 21st after a rough race last week, but at least that top 3 tonight will get you back up there a little bit.
Yeah, it's a good point today regardless. I'm glad to be back in this type of position. It's been a while since I've kind of been confident, so that'll be a definite builder there, and like I said, I'll learn from this and know what to keep an eye on next time, and hopefully come back a little stronger next week.
Well, great job, and send some shout outs to whoever you like to.
I'll just shout out to Casey for bringing me on this season. I've been kind of wanting to race with him. I've been kind of all over the place in this league, but I've been wanting to race with him for a while. Me and him get along pretty well, and I think share a pretty even headspace as far as racing goes. So it's been fun racing with him the past few weeks. Same thing to Justin. Again, sorry to him, and it was fun racing him. Fun racing everybody up front. Silver's always good to see him. Thank you for putting on the show as always.
Well, great job tonight, and congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
Absolutely. Zach Rogers finishing in the 3rd position this evening, and obviously good effort there on the 19 part, and getting a good finish as he finished right there behind James Silvers, who had a great run tonight in the 17 car. James, congratulations, obviously, and a tough race, obviously, for you tonight. I know you had some good racing there amongst the top 10, kept yourself up there all night, and a good finish for you.
Yeah, I was just doing the best I could. I jumped in with about 12 minutes left in practice, and I was like, because I wouldn't even think I was going to be racing tonight, and then all of a sudden I was able to, and I jumped in and started running some practice, and I was like, okay, the car does a lot better than it did last week. But, for me, I just had to keep executing, and try not to make too many mistakes. And I think I got loose maybe a few times. I hit the wall once, I believe. I might have hit it twice. Hell if I know. But other than that, though, I mean, we just kept rallying back and just kept pushing, and somehow we got up in the second. Thank God for Zach Rogers spinning his tires on that restart. That kind of helped me out there.
Obviously, put on a good show tonight. The racing here in New Hampshire, obviously for the first time, the league has come here. Obviously, what was your thoughts on what you saw tonight? Obviously, had a few cautions at the end there, but a lot of green flag racing.
Oh yeah, the beginning of the race was really amazing. I mean, I know from your perspective watching it up there, I mean, it was pretty wild though. I was like, okay, I wonder how long we're going to go until we see something. But I really enjoyed that first green flag run. It could show who could save their tires more and who knew the track and who knew the car really well. And just the whole race, you know, it was pretty good. I mean, the way that the car handled. But at one point in the race, the track temp spiked. I don't know how it did that, but it went up pretty, I don't know, like 20 or 30 degrees or something like that. And I was going down the backstretch, and by the time I went to the next corner, it was like I was just sliding. I was like, oh my God, I've got to pit. So then, I mean, me pitting helped me out, because then when the caution came out, everybody else came back, and then I rallied back up to the front. I know them other boys, they had fresher tires like Whitley and stuff like that, but I mean, ain't too much you can do whenever they got that much, and he was driving the way he was driving. So, you know, congratulations to him on that win.
Great job to you on obviously finishing second, and send some shout outs to whoever you like to.
Yeah, I'd like to shout out to you for putting on an amazing broadcast. You always do an amazing job, Chris. I'd like to shout out Casey Carrington for putting on such an amazing league, the All-American Cup Series. I'd like to shout out everybody in Waynesville. I'd like to shout out my girlfriend, Shelby. I love you. I don't know if you're in the bed, but I love you, and I'll call you here in a minute. And I'd like to thank my sponsors that help everything that goes on at Cornerstone. I'd like to shout out area professionals of WNC, Function Junction Smoke Shop, GG's of Waynesville, North Carolina, Glory Pole, Mountain View Detailing, and last but not least, Waynesville Tire.
Absolutely. Great job, man.
All right, brother. I appreciate it. You have a good night.
You too. James Silver's finishing in the second position here tonight. Congratulations to him on his great run there as he celebrates that. And the comeback kid, I guess we can call him tonight, as we look at Mark Whitley, who gets involved in some unfortunate situation at the beginning. And I'm looking over a chat, seeing that Brandon obviously apologizing for what happened there early in the race. Tough break though, but man, what a way to fight back.
Yeah, the whole race kind of was a roller coaster. Qualified second, I messed up my first lap, hit the wall, and second lap I was able to salvage it and still get a top front row start, and was able to battle hard and get the lead early. And I'll give him credit. He was making me run it a lot harder than I wanted to. I was hoping I could just take it easy and save the tires. This is probably my favorite racetrack, and so like I just have a really good feel for how to run the laps and how to save the tires. And it was just he was forcing me to run harder than I want to, so I was really worried that maybe I was going to burn the tires up. But it seemed like he might have burned them up a little bit before us. And right at the end of that first run, we had pulled away a little bit. I decided to just cut the race evenly instead of running it out that first time, and it gave me a really big undercut, and I had really big lead there for a little bit. And I know 25, I think he pitted later than us. I was letting him go, and I think he just hit the brakes too hard and it just locked up. I mean, it's one of those mistakes. I mean, I made a boneheaded mistake last week with racing with Matthew and stuff, so I can't really be too mad, especially we got a good outcome from it. So, you know, all is forgiven in hindsight. But, you know, it's just, I know he wasn't anything malicious. I let him go. He just got in there a little bit too deep and it locked the fronts up. It happened to the 19 going with the 3. That's kind of what gave us the win, I think, I think he just overdrove it. I think he saw me in his mirror and overdrove it a little bit, and kind of worked out. I'm not sure. It would have been a really tough battle getting by both of them if they hadn't have kind of taken each other out. And after that, it was just about hitting my marks and making sure I didn't make any more mistakes. And thankfully, we had clear sailing and got a really good last restart and was able to just kind of cruise to the victory, because the middle part of that race, I was just going to be happy with a top 5, I think, just trying to salvage it. And, thankfully, we were able to do a little bit better and get a win finally. And, could have had a win last week, and we kind of threw that away with a boneheaded mistake. So this one's nice to kind of get one back, it seems like.
Yeah, after 2 rough races, too, especially, the mistake last week, Daytona obviously didn't go the way you wanted. But to get this victory now, bounce back, and then start that march now, it's almost like a new season started today for you.
Yeah, pretty much. It's just going to be about, nose to the grindstone, just try to hit our marks. We got a long season. Just all about taking care of what we can, and hopefully don't have any more issues come up, or stuff we can't control. Daytona, it's Daytona, so you get in a wreck like that, can't really be helped too much because it's just the type of racing. So hopefully we can continue to control what we can and come out on top here and hopefully get another championship. If not, just try to just get as good as we can in battle.
And we can't forget the overall title from season 7 and 8. So obviously, I believe you were leading that one still going into this race. So we're watching 2 championships here, but looks like up 12 spots here to the 5th position in points. Congratulations, and send some shout outs out.
Oh, yeah, first and foremost, Brantley over at Harpoon Designs. He designed this awesome race car. It's probably one of my favorites he's done in a long time, and I'm glad we were able to finally get it in victory lane. I feel like this car deserved to be in victory lane, as beautiful it is. Can't thank him enough for being a spotter there. He spots every race we have and all of my paint schemes. So shout out to him. Check him out at harpoondesign.com. He's got a form you can fill out, and he get you a custom one done. Or if you just want to check him out on Trading Paint, I think he's over 2,000 paints on there now. So there's plenty to pick from for his previous work. So check him out. Shout out to my family tuning into the broadcasted races. Granddad, appreciate it. Thanks for the text. I got a text right after the race saying good win, good battle. So always appreciate him watching. And shout out to League. That first half of the race, it was really good. And it was just one slight mistake that this race could have went green for a long time. And at the end of it, just kind of it's just how it is with these races. Sometimes you get a lot of cautions. They just breed each other. So shout out to the league. Seems like we've kind of turned the corner and getting back to how we used to be. So it's good progress. Hopefully we keep it going. And shout out to you for putting on a great broadcast.
Appreciate that, Mark. As always, good job going to victory lane here tonight, and go celebrate with the team.
Thanks.
Absolutely. Mark Whitley, the winner here tonight at the New Hampshire Motor Speedway, as he called his favorite track. So big shout out to him and the Harpoon Design team on going to victory lane here this evening. And the good news is we have the point standings here in front of you, about to be shown right after I double check, make sure I got them updated. Yeah, we're good. Okay, here we go. Point standings entering next week at Darlington. Thompson leads them by 3 now over Silver. Stephen Miles sits there in 3rd. Casey Carrington up a spot to 4th. And then there's the big jump from Mark Whitley up to 5th. Zach Rogers moves 12 to 9th. Charles Van Schaik there in the top 10. Pretty good battle, though, from 1st to, all the way down to 10th. 41 points. That's it. Separating the top 3 after 3, or top 10 after 3 races. So plenty of racing to do as we go to Darlington next Thursday night. Should be a lot of fun at the Lady in Black. But of course, we got some racing tomorrow night also. Invite you to come join us for that. But yeah, we'll keep the bus rolling here after Mark Whitley wins at the New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Big shout out to Leafguard of Vermont for sponsoring the All-American Cup Series, or at least being a partner of it, I should say. And also should mention Sim Racer Hub, of course, where all the point standings and stats and stuff you see. They are a partner also of the All-American Cup Series, and we'll see more of them coming up here later on this season as Clinton Sneed will likely be racing and stuff too. So it should be good to have him in the field with these guys also. But we're going to head out. Enjoy the rest of your Friday night, or Thursday night. See, I did it. I'm thinking we're at Friday night still. But enjoy the rest of your Thursday night. Have a great rest of your week, and always remember, this isn't just a game, it's iRacing. See ya!
copyrighted broadcast cannot be reproduced, reused, retransmitted in any form without the authorized written consent of Captain eSports Network. Captain would like to thank all of his loyal fans for your continued support, and he hopes you enjoyed today's broadcast.
The following is a special presentation. From the Captain